Welcome, Frank. Thank him for joining us today. He's one of the hardest guys to get on your schedule here in Washington, so we're really excited, or anywhere for that matter. We're really excited to have you as part of our Incubator Intensive program.
So Josh, it's all yours. But before Josh, I pass it to you, the mentor. What do you like about America that energizes you, that excites you?
Diversity.
Diversity, very good. I want to talk about that.
Cooperation.
Cooperation.
Experience, especially
Experience.
And the fact that everyone gets to jump from or do a great leap from this field to that leap without even being afraid of.
And I will talk a little bit about that when you ask the wonderful. America is one of the best nations in the world. It's America that provided me the opportunity to succeed. And I'm deeply grateful to America's kindness and generosity. And I hope my story will resonate not only here in America, but all over the globe. You can make it impossible as possible in America. President Obama is a good example. Who I work for, and this fellow worked for. He embodies the American dream. His story can only happen in America. A father from hills of Kenya to the doors of the White House.
Well, no, it's a perfect segue. I think rather than going through your extensive bio, going right into, describing your journey as an entrepreneur and telling everybody about the key points that you experienced along the way.
So, first of all, Josh, thank you very much for inviting me.
My pleasure.
And I'm delighted to be here with all of you. And you have an impressive journey. I'm not only impressed, but inspired by who you are and your story and your journey. And you are the future of not only Saudi Arabia, but the future of the world. You are the hope of tomorrow. And I hope that tomorrow will bring you better days for all of us. So, inshallah. So I came here at the age of 15 from India. And I crossed the Atlantic Ocean to realize the American dream. At that young age, I was not really sure that I can accomplish anything because without a parental guidance. But what I believe in America, I have a lot of confidence in America and the people with me, and I believe in the American dream. And there were several elements that I needed to do before I started my business. So the first one is getting a good education. The second one will be to get experience, which I call apprenticeship, Josh. And the third thing, becoming an entrepreneur. And the fourth thing will be surround yourself with a talented management team who share your vision and values. And the last thing is moving on to other things, which is sharing and giving back. So I graduated from University of Colorado. I got a bachelor's degree and master's degree that gave me the experience to start the business. Well, they gave me the knowledge, but I needed the experience in order for me to gain the experience. So I worked with the Tool Information Technology Company. They gave me the real world grounding and experience to start my business. With my management team, myself and my senior talented management team, we were able to grow within 13 years from 1 employee to 3,000 employees to a revenue of $300 million per year. So success in business is team sport. I would also say that my story can only happen in America because America's inclusiveness and the openness that provided me the ladders of opportunity to succeed. These are the strength, the values, and the qualities of America that all of us can proudly and truly embrace. So after I sold the business, we started a foundation, my wife Debbie and I. It's called Frank Islam and Debbie Dressman Foundation that focuses on education, arts and culture, civic engagement, and peace resolution, conflict resolution. Peace is very important and in this country, not only in this country, but around the globe. And now I am into the mode of sharing and giving back. I subscribe to the notion that President Kennedy once said, to whom much is given, much is expected. But what prevailed in my journey is the fact that I wanted to realize the American dream. So success have taught me how to move forward, but the failure have taught me how never to go backward. So this is my story, and I will be able to tell you a little bit more about it if you're interested to know more about it.
Of course, yeah.
And he has a lot of other questions.
Yeah, I have a lot, but you know, at some point, you had a pathway to work in the high-tech industry, to work for large existing companies, but you didn't. You made a decision to become an entrepreneur. So what was there an inflection point, or did it all happen at once, or was this what made you decide to take that, which is, you know, it's a gamble.
It's part of my gene. So it's part of the DNA. What appealed to me to become an entrepreneur is seizing the moment and also willing to take a risk. And also this will allow me to charter my own course, to create my own path, and to determine my own destiny. I would also say the reason that I got into the entrepreneur path is because I wanted to venture into the new horizon and experimenting environment. I also want to create something from the scratch and building it to a large enterprise. The sheer thrill and challenge and the opportunity that I would never had if I worked with somebody else. And I believe that the entrepreneurs believe very strongly that where the other people see as a challenge, the entrepreneurs see as an opportunity. And entrepreneurs are made, not born. It's a true statement. And so that's the reason. If I could have taken the easy path, Josh, is by working someone else. But at that time when I started the business, back then, there was a recession in 2007. Before that, as you know, I'm sure you're old enough to remember, large business was cutting, and also they were downsizing. So at that time, I didn't think it was risky for me to start the business, and my wife has always been a steadfast supporter to me. I know we got a paycheck coming, so we don't have any problem at starting the business. By the way, I bought this business for $45,000. I mortgaged my house. I forgot to tell you that. And then I created that venture of $300 million per year, and then I sold it for several $100 million. So that's the reason I did that.
So you said you were brought up in India until you were 15. And then you came to the United States, and then that's what kind of made a lot of this happen. I mean, is there something, I mean, you mentioned that the United States is the greatest country in the world, but, you know, entrepreneurship, we haven't cornered the market on entrepreneurship. Is there something from your upbringing in India that actually you think contributed to your success? Or was it all exposure to the culture in the United States that did it?
Well, so I will take your last question first,
Right.
and then I'll talk about the culture of the United States. My family, my faith, which is the Muslim faith, and I also say that my university days at Legal Muslim University, where I given $3 million to build Frank and Dev Islam Management Complex at the Legal Muslim University, which is one of the Muslim universities in India. Those are the things that influenced me, that had a lot of impact on being an entrepreneur. So growing up in India definitely has a lot of influence in me in terms of starting the business or being an entrepreneur. I would also say in the questions of America, and we talked about it before we started the conversation here, America's character is unique. There are several things in America that you will not find anywhere in the world. Inclusiveness, openness, diversity, giving opportunity to other people to succeed, the commitment to the democracy and diversity you will not find anywhere in the world. I would also say the shape of the America's character and consciousness is shaped by the people who came to our shore from every end of the earth. So they give you the innovation and entrepreneur spirit that I would have not been able to get it if I lived in India.
Right.
The opportunities.
Yeah.
They gave the opportunities.
A lot of what we're doing here is exposing these founders and co-founders to inspirational individuals, to people that they would never have met in their networks in Saudi Arabia. And that's part of the value of a business incubator, is that you have this community. So can you think of an individual that you met during the early days that really inspired you, that maybe was a mentor to you, that set you on the right course?
Good question. So it was not a single individual that shaped my history and determined my destiny. First of all, and most of all, my wife Debbie. So she has been a constant source of inspiration. She has been a steadfast partner, whether the time is a good time or the bad times. As a matter of fact, when I started the business, for the first 2 years, I did not pay for myself. So in order for us to have the food on the table, have a roof on their head, in order to sustain yourself, I relied upon her paycheck. So it was a difficult and dark and desperate days of our life. So I would say that she had been a constant source of inspiration to me. Number two, you talk about the individual. So before I started the business, I worked for Halcyon Corporation, and there was a fellow and who was my boss, who became also vice president of my company. So I hired all the good people that I work for, which is a good thing to do. You need to hire the people who you know and you trust. So he was my mentor, and he told me all about the government contracting. But one thing he told me, he said that you can go out and start the business because you got the right stuff. The third thing I will say is the initial, my management team. I had a confidence in them, they supported me, they guided me, and they helped me. So those are the people. It's not a single individual, it's a several here involved.
So the skills that you learn and need to succeed as a young entrepreneur starting a business, and the skills you need to run a large-scale successful business are different. But is there anything that you learned as an entrepreneur just starting to build something that you think carries over to the kinds of skills you need to be a successful CEO to actually run a large organization?
Well, being an entrepreneur, I would say I've learned a lot being an entrepreneur. I would also say I viewed every day as a learning experience. I would say that the things that made me successful into the business, which is what you're asking, Josh, is the subtle things. But the most important thing, that think small to win big. That was my mantra for a long, long time. And also, you have to create a niche differentiation. You have to have a niche compared to your competition. And also, you have to have a core capabilities. You have to have what I call a core competency. And also, the third thing that was important to me in terms of succeeding in business was the past performance. If you have a past performance, if you've done a good job for your customer, they will give you a good reference, so you can get a new job, you can acquire a new opportunity, and you can also acquire the new customer. And the last thing is the satisfaction to the customer. So those are the things that really, what I consider made me successful in business, but think small to win big. That was my mantra for a long, long time.
Yeah. Still here in education and in health and in workforce development, and a lot of them are using digital platforms in order to deliver on these new businesses. It's a very crowded marketplace out there, and there's a lot of competition. And the question is what advice do you have for these entrepreneurs on how they can actually stand out, how they can beat the competition, how they can, really kind of come to the table with something very new that consumers are really interested in? Any advice on that front?
I'm not good in giving advice. It's contrary to my belief. But since you asked, so I'll give you several advice. Several. Be the best you can be. Exploit your fullest potential. I would also say that to each and every one of you, make it your own journey. My Frankenstein journey is the Frankenstein journey. Bill Gates' journey is the Bill Gates' journey. and also Stephen Jobs' journey was a Stephen Jobs journey, but make it your own journey. That's the advice that I also give you. Also, stay true to yourself, you know, and that's a very important advice, and it's a mentor that I've used it many times. Surround yourself with the talented people who share your vision, your values, and pay them well, listen to them, learn from them, make them as a part of your organization, and make sure you listen to them, and give them energy, and give them a gas, and they will do the wonders for you. They do. But surround yourself with the best talented people. Also, I would say that chart your own course. I also say build and borrow from other people. You don't have to start all over. I also say innovate, but that means you don't have to start from the scratch.
Yeah.
You should also you should have a product that has a good, of course you have to have profit, but you can promote it, you can differentiate the market, you have a people, and also the price. So those are my 6 P's for that too. So those are the things that I would do. But I would also say that aim high, work hard, and pursue your dream. I would also say that when you're successful, help other people to succeed. I would also say to you that you are the future of Saudi Arabia. You are the future of the world. If you succeed, all of us succeed, Saudi Arabia succeed, and the world will succeed. So,
No pressure.
No pressure.
Who said that? As far as you're talking about the market, I'm not well versed with the market because I left. I sold my business 10 years ago, and I will leave that to the Josh to give you expert advice in terms of each of the things that you're doing. But that's high level. What I consider the advice to you is. So I'll be open for your questions. Anything?
I just wanted to, I mean, you mentioned that you're actually very active on social media and you have lots of followers and people who kind of, want to continually learn from you. I know you don't like giving advice, but I have one more piece of advice to ask for you to give the group is
Well, I don't have as many fake Twitters as President Trump has.
Oh, right. We're gonna put it there. Yeah, exactly. But as far as building out that network of people, any advice on how these entrepreneurs can actually help to build a vast, wide network, and why do you think that's so important?
Well, it's not. There's an old saying. It's not what do you know, it's who you know. I would paraphrase that. What do you know? Who do you know? And you have to have you came here and because you wanted to get a new customers. You want to collaborate with people. We live in an interconnected world. Look at what happened in Turkey today, 3 days ago. It's affecting our market because of the currency is into trouble. Our market collapsed today, 270 points. Maybe it has gone.
It's up, yeah.
It has up. Okay. So whatever happening in the world, in Afghanistan and also in Saudi Arabia and Yemen, what's happening, it affects our economy and who we are as Americans. So my advice to you is start from the family. That's number one. And then collaborate and connect with the people that you are associated with it. Then connect with the people on social media and find the people who can help you with your business because they are expert in that and they have experience. And also do the international collaborations for your product and services. Satisfy your customer, be on top of it. Run your business like a business.
Well, I've had I've had the floor for too long, so
okay,
let's go ahead and open up. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
I have 2 questions. The first one is, did you start your business while you are a student or just when you finish your studies? And the second question that how can you deal with the stressors and
How can you deal with what?
stressors and depressions in business?
Depression.
Yeah.
Okay. So to answer the first question is very simple. I always wanted to be a business owner, but I didn't have, my family didn't really come from business, so I couldn't get an experience for that. So I did not start my business when I was a student. After I graduated from the University of Colorado, after I got some experience, then I started my business. Stress, yes. There were a lot of dark and desperate days in my life, and the destination was not certain. But what prevailed me in my journey, that I believe in myself, the people that I surround myself, my wife's encouragement all the times, and the most important was in realizing the American dream. I knew that one day we'll have a payday, and then I can help other people in terms of by giving them, by sharing. So that's something that I always thought about it, that this is what I'm going to get one day, and that got me going. That got me going in terms of getting up early in the morning. So there will be anger, there will be anxiety, but you should, as President Kennedy once said about the immigration, we are a nation of immigrants, we are a melting pot, and that defines the character and conscience of this nation. Immigrants infuse this nation with far horizons and new frontier, thereby keeping the hope alive and well. We all came from every end of the earth in this country. So in order for you to keep your hope alive, think about one day you will succeed, you will make a lot of money, and you give back. And this way you can defeat your depression, anger, anxiety, but keep the hope, not the fear. You have a question? Sure.
First of all, I hope all of us have a successful life.
Pardon?
But successful life. But I think, how can you deal with failures?
Pardon?
Failures.
Failures. Good question. One thing that I did not talk about it, I said surround yourself with the talented people, and give them oxygen to breathe, they will do the wonder. Never be fear of the failure, never be afraid of the failure. Without the failure, you cannot be successful.
Yeah.
And that failure will, the success taught me how to move forward, the failure taught me how never to go backward. If I had gone, no entity, no business can succeed unless you fail. But you should be able to learn the lessons from them, you should be able to pick up the pieces and move on and think of that as experience. And it's good to have the failures, but never be afraid of failures.
But I think sometimes life doesn't give us many chances. I mean,
Life gives you many chances because you're so young. You have a lot of chances. I may not have that many chances that you do. You have a lot of chances. And being so young to coming to the United States and learning about entrepreneurship itself is the path that I didn't have it. So great. You will do well. So make sure that I'll be reading about you in the Financial Times and Wall Street Journal. Right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. As you know, President Obama went to law school before he became politicians, and then he worked in Chicago in the social entrepreneurship and social things before he became the president. Then he ran for then he was a state senator from Illinois, then he ran for the U.S. senator, and then became president of the United States. So starting early is good if you can afford it, if your family can help you. And that's the best place to get the money from your family, from your friends. They're going to believe in you, but you got to be a good salesman though. And you're selling every day to your mom, to your dad, to your brothers, and your sister. You're doing a selling job every day.
They would negotiate together and who can drive the car, who can.
I have a question. So how much of your success do you think was luck and hard work?
Well, luck is another name for hard work.
By accident or?
No, it was not an accident. I would say, and I said in my when Josh asked me about advice, aim high, work hard, and pursue your dream. That's my mantra. No, I don't think it was a luck, but there were some cases that I can say. I was bidding some contract. I ran into somebody at the elevator, and I told my wife Debbie that he told me what to do with my business plan to build the business, and that really worked out very well. So if I had not taken that
In the morning, the elevator, I've probably not made about $20 million, which I made. But that's very rare. I would say that it's not a luck. You gotta be focused, like a laser beam focused. You gotta have in order for you to win big. I can see that. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you said surround yourself with the best talented people.
With the talented people. You got it, man, Josh.
Yeah.
This is give them oxygen to breathe. Listen from, learn from them. Listen to them. Make them part of your.
How can we surround ourselves? How can we reach those talented people?
Okay, so I surrounded myself. I can give you my own example. So when I was a student, I found some people that I trusted, and they shared my venture. They wanted to do the same thing. So those were the connections that I used. I saw when I worked for somebody, and I told to the Josh, I was able to, my mentor, my business associate, and I hired all of them because I knew they were really good. So this is how you surround yourself with talented people. And you live in an interconnected world. So once you know one person, they will refer you with other person, and this goes on and on. And this way you can surround yourself with talented people. But give them every means. Pay them well. They're part of your family. And every decision you make them as a part of the decision-making process. That's the way I feel.
And I think that someone can answer to one of the earlier questions about whether it's one of the ways that you do learn about talented people is if you are working with them for a while before you were to start your venture, because then you have a network of people that know the same field that you're looking to get into, and that you can then reach back to them. So that is one advantage, if you do go out and work in whatever field you're looking at getting into, is that if you work with the people for a while, you've established connections with them, you learn some of the practices in that field, that if you do start the business right out of school, you don't have that avenue.
Actually, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Other questions? We have a few more minutes left.
So I have a question for you. You guys are from Medina, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a beautiful city.
Yeah.
All of us.
Eh?
All of us.
All of us
Yeah.
are from Medina.
Yeah.
And some of these people cannot go to Medina because of their religion. I can because I've been there 2 or 3 times. What part of Medina do you live? All of you.
Which part?
Yeah, which part do you live in Medina? Hijr?
She's in Hijra.
Different parts. Near Khaliga.
Yeah, okay.
Park.
So how do you know the parts?
Yeah, I know the parts of Medina. If you're visiting Medina, most probably you're visiting
No,
the
but
mosque.
the person who was the ex-ambassador over here, he has a family in Medina. So their family invited us. I wanted to share this story here.
Yes.
And this is a great story about hospitality of Saudi Arabia. So I go over there, and he connected me, and he said, this fellow's parents, they live in palace. You know, we don't have anything like that at all. It's a compound. So he sent his driver to pick me up. I said, I just met you. He said, sir, I know I met you just this morning for about half an hour, but I wanted to invite you at my home for a dinner. So I said, I'm with 15 people. He said, there's no problem. Everybody's coming. And then he asked one of his aides to go to farm to get the goat or the lamb, a baby lamb.
Oh.
And he put the whole baby lamb with the eyes and ears and everything. And then you're gonna have to take this stuff out and eat them. I tried, it was pretty tasty.
Yeah.
So I have to give a lot of credit to the hospitality of the Arabs and the Muslims. And that's you do not find anywhere else in the world, the hospitality they have. And my wife can tell you a couple of examples that I serve on the board of the American University in Dubai. And you know and they are very hospitable people. So the chairman of the board invited us for a lunch, And then probably the food was from there to here. There's only about 10 people, right, Debbie? It was pile, right? It was a lot of food. So the hospitality is something that I value and something that the Arabs had and no one has. But remember, the Arabs were the civilization. That's where we started, from the Nile River. During the time of the Ramses and Pharaohs, that's what civilization came from. So you are the cradle of civilization.
So what is his name? Your friend?
Abul Hassan Ilyas.
Yes. My mom is, her name is Asma Diaz. So, but in the Medina there is three family members with a family name.
Okay, so he lives in a big compound. He has a
Wasn't he
three.
the mayor?
His father, he was the mayor of the Medina, also the deputy governor of Medina.
Medina is so small, everybody knows.
Yeah.
If you want to talk
Obviously.
about, yeah, we can relate. We can know someone that knows someone.
So they are married together also. They know each other.
Yeah.
Well, that's very much of a Muslim tradition. They marry cousins and so on.
Yeah.
Did you want to add anything before we wrap up?
Just one comment, ladies probably don't have time anymore, but both of Frank's books are actually up in the library upstairs.
Oh, excellent. Well, they're here for a few more days, so did you hear that, everybody?
Yeah.
Both of his books are actually upstairs in the library.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
So if you can read them in 2 hours, we're glad to share them for everybody.
So
Do you have a PDF copy?
pardon?
A PDF?
Yeah.
I can send it to you.
Digital one.
Here's my card. I will send it to you.
Yeah.
Electronic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can send it to you.
Or would it, Frank, would it make more sense to provide Halcyon with the copies?
I can do both.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to distribute it to the
Yeah, if
group.
you send it to me, I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
So how long you guys will be here?
For 3 days?
3 more days.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then you going anywhere else beside this place?
Straight back to
And then back
Saudi.
to Medina.
Go back to Medina.
Yeah.
So you take the Saudi Arabia airline?
No.
Emirates.
Emirates, so Dubai.
Yeah.
And then from Saudi Arabia airline is not bad.
Yeah, right.
Jeddah, you can go to Riyadh.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
We just need to find reservations.
Yep.
Eh?
There wasn't enough booking for everyone.
Oh, there was not a booking.
And especially as you know that the Hajj vacation starting. in-
Yeah, that's true. I did. I am so impressed by all of you. You inspired all of us, and you keeping the hope alive and well. If there's anything we can do to help you, to support you, please do not hesitate to talk to us. And so next time I'm in Saudi Arabia, maybe we have an opportunity to talk to you.
Yes.
So who should I give a card so they can?
All of us?
Thank you with everybody.
Share the card.
Yeah, we can share.
Yes.
She will send us a picture.
My picture?
I share it. This is my picture.
Yeah, okay, so you put it in WhatsApp, right?
Yeah.
Before you came, they were
When you
sharing
visit-
pictures of you and.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If this is Medina, we can plan for you some.
I love that.
Yes.
I will come, inshallah. I will come, inshallah.
waiting. Yeah.
I will come next year. Are we going to Dubai in February?
We are, I thought we were going to India.
Well,
Just regarding the Frank and Davy Foundation, if it's can
it's a Frank Islam and David Dreisman because my wife kept her middle name.
Okay.
Yeah, so is mine.
So is
Yeah, but
yours?
it's only been 15 years, so it'll happen.
Mine is a lot longer than that.
foundation
What's your question?
Can this foundation support our venture for fundraising or something?
Okay, so you have a good question, but I wanted to, first of all, any entity which is not tax exempt by the United States government, that's IRS, we cannot support it. That's number one. Number two, it has to focus on education, which is and not a business venture, but also arts and culture, and also the conflict resolution and civic engagement, because we have a citizens deficit in our country to engage the people in the civic engagement, which is very important. In order for you to fulfill responsibility, as President Kennedy once said, you got to engage, you got to vote, and you make sure you can become a change agent. So unfortunately, I cannot do that. But you know, Saudi Arabia is a pretty rich place. They don't need my money. All they need is our advice.
Yeah.
our advice.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course, I mean,
of course.
somebody's working, with
Well,
other-
Well, we need, yeah, you're expert.
Yes, yes, and I'm willing to give you free of charge, there's no,
Thank you.
and I'll pay my own to come over there, so you don't have to pay for that.
Let's
So
all
so
thank.
you go to Medina University?
Hey, University.
Like,
Yeah, that's it, I've been, I know where it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's all thank Frank for his
Yeah,
time.
yeah.